The conference room was bright, filled with laughter and the sound of glasses clinking. The air smelled faintly of champagne and polished wood. I sat frozen in my chair, my hands resting on my lap but feeling numb. Arthur's voice echoed clearly over the applause. "I'm thrilled to announce our new regional director, my niece, Lily Monroe." Lily smiled brightly, her blonde hair perfectly styled, wearing an expensive suit that sparkled under the lights. She had only been with the company 8 weeks. 8 weeks. I forced my lips into a smile and clapped slowly. The sound was hollow and echoed strangely in my ears. 3 years of hard work, late nights, missed family dinners, all forgotten in this moment. Arthur's eyes met mine for a brief second. I thought I saw guilt flicker there, but it was gone before I could be sure. After the applause faded, I walked back to my office. The floor beneath my heels felt cold and unfamiliar. My nameplate still read Amy Hayes, Senior Operations Manager, but it felt like a lie. Margaret from accounting stopped by and whispered, "I'm sorry, Amy." My phone buzzed with a message from Joseph, my husband. How did it go? I stared at the screen, unsure what to say. Finally, I typed, "We'll talk tonight." Later, I sat at home staring out the window. The warm glow of the kitchen light gave no comfort tonight. Joseph wrapped an arm around me gently. "Tell me what happened," he said softly. I took a deep breath and began. 3 years. 3 years of sacrifice. I had built this department from the ground up, putting in 60-hour weeks, missing holidays, and pushing myself beyond limits. And yet, here I was, passed over. In favor of a girl who'd barely learned our systems. Lily. The morning sun peeked through the blinds as I sat across from Arthur in his office 3 months earlier. His usual stern expression softened. "Amy," he said, "the promotion is yours. You've earned it." I believed him. I trusted him. For years, I'd given everything to this company: long hours, tight deadlines, late nights reviewing reports while Joseph waited for me at home. I'd built relationships with clients, grown the team, and led projects that boosted revenue. 3 years of dedication. Yet, whispers started filtering through the office halls soon after. "Lily is the future," someone said. "Fresh ideas," another whispered. I tried to push it away. Lily Monroe was young, polished, and yes, Arthur's niece. She'd graduated top of her business school and had daddy's connections. But 8 weeks in, she barely knew our clients. She hadn't put in the work. Still, the rumors gnawed at me. Then came the day Arthur called a meeting. The room smelled like polished oak and fresh coffee. He raised his glass with a proud smile. "To Lily, our new regional director." My heart sank. I clapped, slowly, painfully, but the applause felt like a cruel joke. Lily flashed me a polite smile, oblivious to the storm inside me. Arthur's eyes caught mine for a brief moment. I thought I saw guilt, but it disappeared in a blink. The rest of the day passed in a blur. I returned to my office, my hands trembling as I sat down. Margaret came by, her eyes full of sympathy. "I'm so sorry, Amy." I closed the door and stared at the framed Employee of the Year certificates on the wall. 3 of them. 3 years of hard work, and now, meaningless. My phone buzzed again, Joseph's message, "How did it go?" I typed, "We'll talk tonight." That night, Arthur showed up at my office just as I was packing up to leave. "Amy," he said, settling into the chair across from my desk. "I know this is difficult. But Lily needs your support. You know this department better than anyone. I want you to help her succeed." I looked him in the eyes. 3 months ago, you promised me this promotion. What changed?" He fidgeted with his wedding ring, eyes darting away. "Business needs evolved. Lily brings fresh perspective. I swallowed the lump in my throat. 8 weeks of fresh ideas against 3 years of proven results. Arthur smiled thinly. Family looks out for each other. Lily needed this opportunity. You're secure here. Those words hit me like a blow. I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. As my heels clicked down the marble hallway, my chest tightened. Secure here. Was that what I was? A reliable placeholder. Someone to pick up the pieces, clean the messes, and stay silent. The word family echoed in my mind, twisted into something cold and sharp. The next morning, I walked into the office with a mask, a carefully crafted smile, and a calm exterior. Inside, I felt shattered. Lily bounced into my office at exactly 9, her blonde hair shining under the fluorescent lights. She carried a color-coded planner and an enthusiasm that grated on my nerves. "Amy, I'm so excited to learn from you," she chirped. "Uncle Arthur says you're the best." I gestured to the chair across from my desk. "Let's start with the Morrison account," I said slowly. "They've been our biggest client for years." For 2 hours, I explained every detail, the preferences, the history, the delicate balance needed to keep them happy. Lily scribbled notes but asked questions that revealed how little she really knew. "So, when Mr. Morrison calls upset about a delay, what do I do?" she asked. "Don't promise what you can't deliver," I said. "Listen carefully. Acknowledge his concerns. Give a realistic timeline with a buffer." She nodded eagerly. "And if he threatens to leave?" I looked at her carefully. "Losing Morrison would mean losing 30% of our revenue, and 47 jobs, including yours." Her pen stopped moving. By lunchtime, my patience was wearing thin. I retreated to the break room, reheating leftover soup, trying to calm my frustration. Then I overheard voices next door. Arthur's booming voice, "The transition is going perfectly." Lily's picking up quickly. Lily's uncertain voice, "Are you sure Amy's okay with this?" Arthur replied smoothly, "Amy's dependable, but we need fresh ideas. Lily is our future." The words hit me like ice. Fresh ideas. I was the one who had built this department from scratch. As I sat alone, the cold soup forgotten, a fire ignited inside me. I wasn't just going to accept this. Not quietly. Not this time. That night, I couldn't sleep. The apartment was silent except for the faint hum of the city outside our window. I paced back and forth, the cold wooden floor cool beneath my feet. Memories flooded me, late nights at the office, missed birthdays, the exhaustion etched on my face after 12-hour days. All for what? To be sidelined and told I wasn't enough. I sat at the kitchen table, the letter I'd drafted lying in front of me, words carefully chosen, firm but respectful. Joseph watched me quietly from the doorway, his eyes full of concern and love. "You're not alone," he said softly. "You deserve this." His words settled the storm in my chest, but the fight inside me only grew stronger. I thought of Arthur's empty promises and Lily's naive smile. No more. I was done being the secure one, trusted to support but never lead. Tomorrow, I'd begin gathering the evidence I needed, emails, performance reports, client feedback, everything that proved my worth. I wasn't going to just walk away. I was going to take back what was mine. And I'd do it with truth. The next morning, I walked into the office with a new kind of determination. The air smelled like fresh coffee, but I barely noticed. My mind was racing. I began collecting every shred of proof, emails where Arthur had praised my work, client reports showing the growth under my leadership, and testimonials from coworkers who knew my efforts firsthand. Each document was a small weapon in a battle I was determined to win. But the path wasn't easy. Training Lily was exhausting. She nodded politely but often missed crucial details. During meetings, she asked questions that showed she hadn't done her homework. Her confidence was built on family ties, not experience. Some coworkers began to avoid me, sensing the tension. Rumors floated, "Amy's bitter, she's difficult to work with now." The whispered judgments stung. I hated becoming that person, but I refused to stay silent. There were moments when doubt crept in. Was it worth the fight? Could I really change Arthur's mind? Would anyone listen? Joseph's support kept me grounded. "You're not alone in this," he reminded me during late-night calls. Despite setbacks, I sent my letter to Arthur and the board. It was calm but unyielding, laying out facts without emotion. I waited, heart pounding, for a response. Days passed. Then, a meeting was called. My hands trembled slightly as I entered the boardroom. Arthur's usual confidence was missing. The board listened intently as I presented my evidence. Lily sat quietly, her smile fading. I spoke clearly, truthfully, no anger, only facts. The room was silent when I finished. I could feel the weight of years of sacrifice pressing down, but also the steady lift of hope. The fight was far from over, but for the first time, I felt seen. The boardroom was colder than usual. The polished table reflected the anxious faces around it. Arthur sat stiffly, his eyes avoiding mine. I took a deep breath and began. 3 years ago, I was promised this promotion, I said, voice steady. Since then, I have worked tirelessly to grow this department. I have documents, emails, and client feedback to prove my contributions. I slid a folder across the table. The board members opened it, their expressions shifting as they scanned the pages. Arthur cleared his throat. "Amy, you must understand business evolves. Lily brings new energy." I looked directly at him. "Fresh ideas don't replace experience. Losing sight of that puts the company, and its employees, at risk." Lily shifted uncomfortably. The confident mask I'd seen before cracked. A board member spoke next. "Thank you for bringing this forward, Amy. We will conduct a full review." The room fell silent. Later, I overheard whispers in the hall, Arthur's voice, apologetic, softer than ever. The investigation confirmed the facts, my leadership was undeniable, the decision rushed and unfair. Lily was reassigned to a less critical role, and the promotion was finally mine. When Arthur called to apologize personally, I listened quietly. "I misjudged," he said. "You earned this." No celebration came. Instead, a calm satisfaction settled inside me. I had reclaimed what was mine, not through anger, but truth. Weeks after the board's decision, the office felt different. The tension that had clouded the air slowly lifted, replaced by cautious respect. I still showed up early, still worked late, but now there was a quiet strength beneath my every step. One afternoon, I found myself in the park near our home. The wind stirred the autumn leaves, and the soft rustling was like a gentle reminder, even after storms, life moves forward. Joseph sat beside me, his hand warm in mine. "You did what you had to," he said softly. I nodded. It wasn't about revenge. It was about dignity. About standing up for myself. We watched families stroll by, children laughing, dogs chasing balls. Life's simple moments felt precious in a new way. At work, I noticed how people looked at me differently. No longer with pity or avoidance, but with respect. Some came to me for advice, others simply smiled as I passed. Arthur's apology, though unexpected, didn't erase the past. But it opened a door I thought was closed. I realized I had grown through this pain, not hardened, but stronger and more certain. I was no longer just Amy who supports others. I was Amy, the leader I had always been. Sometimes, life feels like walking through a storm with no clear end in sight. The wind howls, the rain soaks you, and every step feels heavy. But then, after the darkest moments, the clouds begin to part. A single ray of sunlight breaks through, warming your face and reminding you that the storm was only temporary. I learned that standing up for yourself isn't just about winning a battle, it's about honoring your worth, your hard work, and your truth. I carry the scars of that fight like quiet badges of resilience. Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't just see the woman who was betrayed. I see the woman who refused to be invisible. Who reclaimed her story with grace, strength, and truth. And that makes all the difference.